School has finally started again, and it's probably the first or second week of school. For me, whenever you see this video, it's gonna be the first week. But regardless of the fact, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to go broke while in college. I'm a senior here at my university, so I kind of know a thing or two about going broke from observing other people who are broke while in school. If you want to know exactly what to do so that you don't go broke, or what to do if you want to go broke, stay tuned, because I'm about to tell you exactly what to do from A to fucking Z. So first things first, whenever you get to college, most people as freshmen, or whenever, like let's say you're a transfer student or whatever, most people, what they're thinking of is, I have to have a whole bunch of money, I have to have the nicest car, I have to have the nicest clothes, I have to have the nicest phone, the nicest tablet, the nicest laptop, the nicest shoes, the nicest jewelry. I have to have all of these things so that I look like I got money, so that I look like I'm rich. That's pretty much everybody's mentality whenever they get to college. And maybe even myself, I was guilty of it just a little bit, but I wasn't like over the top and I didn't go overboard. Because what most people do, and I'm telling you this because this is exactly what people do when they're freshmen or whenever they're in college, they spend all their money, even though they really don't have any money. They spend their mom and their dad's money on liquor, weed, partying, food, girls, and bullshit. That's exactly, those 6 things right there are all the things that people spend their money on while they're in college. And honestly, if you are able to control like some of these things and like try to like hold yourself back where you have a little bit of discipline, where you're not just spending money like crazy, you won't actually go broke. You can actually make some money while in college. Yes, people do have like little side hustles. Say maybe you do nails, maybe you do hair, maybe you do lashes, you know how to cut hair. Little things like this that can make you money or that can help you generate money while you're in college are cool. Obviously, cool. If you know how to do this, if you have any of these skills, you're probably not gonna go broke if you're in college and you have like people around you that want these services. You're not gonna go broke. You're gonna have always, as long as you do a good job, you're always gonna have like a clientele. But the thing is that even though you might not have a lot of money right now, you want to refrain from spending your money primarily on alcohol. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know so many people, and I'm telling you this from experience, I know so many people who spend the little money they have on alcohol. Every week, I don't know where the hell they get their money from. They either have to ask and beg from their mom, their dad, their aunties, cousins, or even their friends. Because I've had people ask me to like let them have some money or let them borrow some money, even though sometimes it's like $10 or $15, which maybe to you doesn't sound like a lot because you're like, it's just $10 or $15. It's not that much. It's not gonna break the bank. You're right, it won't. But $10 or $15 every week, that's about $40 to $60 a month. And maybe it's not just 1, but 2, 5, maybe even 10 people asking you all the time, hey, can I have, or hey, can I borrow so much money, so-and-so, can I borrow a little bit? Hey, can I pay you back? That's gonna add up very, very quickly. And instead of you saving money, instead of you trying to not spend the money that you have on bullshit, you're gonna basically be giving it away to bullshit. So that's the first thing you want to try to refrain. Besides, if you're not even 21, just don't fucking be buying liquor, don't be buying alcohol. You think it looks cool having the bottle over your fucking head like a fucking dumbass. It's fucking not. You just look like a fucking idiot, bro. I'll be honest. You look like a fucking idiot. And in a couple years, you're gonna look back at those pictures, at those videos, you're gonna say, what the fuck was I doing? Why was I doing that bullshit? Because a bottle might run you like 15, 20 bucks. Granted, if that's even the cheapest one. If you're talking about like a good bottle, maybe that might run you like $30, $40, $45, $40. Say that's the bottle that you really like, $40 every week, that's $160. Multiply that by 4 months or 5 months, depending on how long the semester is, 4 to 5 months, $160 times 5 or times 4, that's $640. I don't know about you, I'm not trying to give away $640 for no fucking reason. And then I'm wondering, where the hell did my money go? No, I'm not doing it. Secondly, what you don't want to do is spend your money on weed. I know you might have friends, or maybe you was even doing this in high school. You were smoking weed, you might end up having friends and making friends when you get to college that like to smoke. My whole university's favorite habit is to smoke. Every roommate I've ever had since I've been here at my university for 5 years now, every single one of them smokes. And I get asked a lot by a lot of people, how come you don't smoke? Why don't you smoke? How come you never want to take a hit, even if it's just one hit? And I'll tell you why. Because smoking is a very expensive habit. Let's just say, right, hypothetically, let's just say you can get a gram for $15. 1 gram. What, you can maybe get like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 blunts. Maybe if your dealer was a little bit generous and, you know, gave you a little extra, right? Cool. 2 blunts. Let's just say, just to keep it, you know, pretty reasonable, 2 blunts. How long are those 2 blunts that you just paid for, $15, gonna last you? Maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes? Maybe if you're smoking it by yourself, I don't know. I don't smoke, so I wouldn't know, but that's only 30 minutes, right? Assuming you're just doing it by yourself. If you have other people are gonna wanna smoke your weed for free, right? They're like, shit, I ain't paying, so let me go ahead and take a hit. Cool. $15 every other day. Let's assume you have a modest weed problem or weed addiction. Let's just say you like to smoke every other day, every 3 days, you know? Let's just keep it like that. Let's just say you smoke every 3 days. So you smoke on Monday, you smoke on Thursday, you don't smoke till Sunday, 3 days. And you buy a gram every time you smoke, just 1 gram. That's $15 on Monday, $15 on Thursday, $15 on Sunday. That's $45 already right there. And that's assuming you only buy 1 and you only smoke 3 times a week. And that's modest. Very, very conservative. That's $45. $45 in 2 weeks, that's $90. In a month, you would have spent $180. That's starting to add up very, very quickly. And let's say you buy 2 grams every time you smoke. So that's 30, 60, $90 that you just spent in 1 week. Multiply that by 4, which is 4 weeks in every month. You're already at $360 that you spent on weed for that month alone. Multiply that by 4 months in a semester, and you're already over $1,200 that you spent on weed alone that you literally have burnt away. And that's only if you smoke, not even including if you like to drink as well. That's not even including the alcohol and the liquor that you might want to buy as well during those 4 months. So all of these things are starting to add up very, very quickly. We haven't even talked about where you're gonna spend on maybe, you know, the food that you're gonna eat for the semester, you know, gas if you have a car, you know, if you wanna go to a party or you wanna go to the movies, you wanna buy, I don't know, some new clothes when you go to the mall or something. We haven't even talked about that yet. We're already $1,200 in debt right now. So if you can try to minimize or you can try to control yourself when it comes to not spending money on alcohol or weed, I'll be honest, I know you're gonna smoke. I know you're gonna drink. I don't smoke. I've never smoked a day in my life. I can promise you, and I swear, I've never smoked. I don't know what being high feels like because I don't want to. I personally know that I have a very addictive personality, so if I do something and I like it, best believe I'm gonna wanna keep doing it over and over and over again because I know that me personally, I have a very addictive personality. So that's why I personally choose not to smoke. Even if I get offered to just do 1 hit, if I try it and I like it, after doing it, I'm gonna get hooked. I already know this about myself. So I don't even try to get tempted. I don't go and hang out with people who like to smoke on the regular. I don't do that. I try to stay away. I always say no. I don't do any of that. I don't smoke. I don't like to drink either because it fucking tastes terrible. If I decide to drink, which is very rarely, I will only drink wine. I really don't like liquor, even if it says it has a great taste. No, it fucking doesn't. It tastes like hand sanitizer to me. It tastes fucking terrible. That's why I don't like drinking. I only drink wine. And the only wine I probably will drink is probably like some rosé. That's it, just because I like the taste. But even then, I'm not drinking that all the time. That's maybe once every 2, 3, 4 months. And that's maybe just 1 glass. That's it. Even though I'm telling you not to drink, not to smoke, most likely than not, most people who see this video, you're gonna do it at least maybe once in your college career. You're gonna try it. You're gonna do it. I already know. So at least if you can try to have discipline where you're not spending all your money on liquor and on weed, you're already ahead of everybody else. Because everybody else who's at your university is going to go broke and is going to spend most of their money that they don't have, by the way, on weed and alcohol. Now, partying, that's another very expensive habit that a lot of people in college have. I go to some parties myself, very few, maybe just 1, 2, maybe 3 per semester, and that's rare. For the same reason, it's full of drinkers, it's full of smokers. I don't do either. I don't like to do either, and I prefer not to do either one of those personally, which is why I really don't ever go. Unless it's like for a reason where I just have to get outside because I've been locked in my room all the time, all day, and I just want to get, I just want to be a little bit social. But even then, it's just for like an hour or two, and then I leave. Whenever you get to college, you're gonna realize, depending on where you go, because I don't know, my university might be a little different than yours, but you'll find out that it's very easy to find parties, whether that be kickbacks or, regular college parties that may be off campus. You're gonna spend your money on trying to get into a party, which they're not free, by the way, in case you didn't know. A pre-sale maybe might run you $15 at the door, maybe $20, $25, depending on how much they're trying to tax you. And if you go to a party, even if it's just one every week, that can start to add up very quickly, very fast. I know you want to have some fun. I don't know how you were or what kind of life you had before you got to college. Maybe you've never gone to a party in your life and you wanna let loose, you wanna experience some new things, you wanna go outside, you wanna be social, you wanna be seen, and you wanna go out to parties and have some fun. Hey, I understand that, but also know that even though I'm not telling you what to do, I can only tell you maybe what you shouldn't do, or what you should at least know if you're gonna do it anyways, because you're gonna do it even if it's just one time. Try not to spend your money, or at least all of your money, with those three things. If you can control yourself, you'll be fine. You won't go into debt because, like I said before, people go into debt and lose and spend all of their money on alcohol, weed, and partying. That's the main three things that people spend their money on while in college. Whether that be frat parties, kickbacks, smoking, getting drunk. That's where a lot of the bullshit happens. That's when you see people, oh, I was in college, but I ended up dropping out, or they kicked me out of school. It's usually for one of those three things. Usually it's one of those. That was the reason for why they're not in school anymore, or they weren't able to afford being in school anymore after one semester. If you can try to do that, if you can try to minimize that, you'll be able to go ahead and finish school if you're able to focus. Not saying you can't have fun, not saying you can't let loose, but at least try to control yourself where you're not going crazy because you just found out you have all the liberty in the world and you can basically do almost anything without getting in too much trouble if you're smart. The other thing most people spend their money on is girls. A lot of guys are gonna be trying to impress, show off, and trick on a lot of girls at your university. Not saying that I'm guilty of it, because I for sure am not doing that shit. But you're about to be exposed to a whole bunch of people, more people than you've probably ever been exposed in your life at one single time. And really, you're not gonna have anybody telling you, oh, don't do this, don't do that, watch out for this, watch out for that. Nobody's telling you. So you are pretty much your own judge on what you should and shouldn't do. I don't know what you like. I don't know what your type is. You can keep that to yourself. I don't need to know that. But I'm saying, try your hardest not to go broke trying to impress a girl or trying to stand out for a girl. Because like I told you, I've been in college for quite a while, and I've seen people, from my personal experience, from what I've seen, I don't do this. I'm telling you exactly what other people do when they go broke. They will do the most to try to impress, to try to trick, and to try and convince a girl to like them or to be with them. What you'll find out if you stay in college long enough, and if you actually pay attention to other people, is that a lot of girls end up dating the same type of guys. Let me go ahead and let that sink in for a second. A lot of these girls are gonna date and be with the same guys. So what I mean by that is a lot of girls are gonna share the same guys when you get to college. I know you might think that girl in your class, the girl in your dorm, the girl you met at the coffee shop is so perfect. She's a perfect little angel. She's not gonna do anything bad. She was raised right. Believe me, most of these girls, when they get to college, they want to be hoes. They want to have their ass out. They want to have their titties out. They want to be doing the most to get all the attention from every guy that they can possibly get the attention from, including you. So that means that they're gonna dress in a very provocative way with their ass and their titties out. They wanna look sexy, they wanna draw the attention to them, because every girl that you're about to realize is gonna be doing this at least for the first week to week and a half. That's what they're all trying to do. They're all trying to get attention from every single guy at the university. Doesn't matter what she looks like, doesn't matter where she came from, doesn't matter what her religion is, doesn't matter what her morals are or any of that. Most girls are going to be trying to do this. So that way, at least you're aware of it and at least you don't get finessed. And a lot of the girls are gonna end up sharing a lot of the same guys. And since they're sharing a lot of the same guys, whether they know it or not, they're gonna end up sleeping with those guys, usually more times than not, without protection or without a condom. And they won't necessarily really care or really bother to care much about it. So what you don't want to do is, even though I know you're gonna want to have girls, I know you're gonna probably want a girlfriend, you're probably gonna want to be fucking these hoes. You might see a girl at the coffee shop, at your class, a girl that stays in your dorms who looks good, that you find very, very attractive. I get it. I know. Trust me. There's a whole bunch of them here at my university. But even if you decide to go ahead and try to talk to a girl, which, it's college. You need that exposure. You need that practice. You need those reps in to be able to get the girls that you want to get and to be able to get the girls that you want to date. You need that repetition. You need that practice. Whenever it comes time to sleeping with one of these girls, make sure that you always use protection. You always put a wrap on and you always use a condom. I don't care if the girl says, oh, I never do this. I've never done this before. I don't usually do this. This is my first time. I don't give a shit what she tells you because they're gonna all lie to you and they're always gonna tell you this same thing. Whether you think it's true or not, never believe a single word that they say. Whatever she says, think the opposite. If she tells you, oh, I've never done this before. This is the first time. I don't usually do this. You're the only one. Don't believe them. Please, don't believe them. Repeat with me. Don't believe these hoes, okay? So make sure you always put a wrap on. You use protection and you use a condom. Don't take it off. Don't use a condom. Don't use protection that she gives you. Don't ever do that. Okay? Because some of these girls, what they'll do is they'll use like the little push pins and they'll put little holes in the condom. So that way, even if you decide to use a condom that she gave you, she knows in the back of her head, I just put a hole in this earlier. So even if we use protection, I'm still probably gonna get pregnant if I wanna get him. Don't ever use what they give you. Always have your own. Go to Walmart, go to CVS, go to Walgreens, and buy your own and carry your own whenever you about to clap some cheeks, okay? Because God forbid you get a girl pregnant during your first semester and now you're stuck with a baby that you didn't even fucking plan for because you decided to get and use a condom that a girl gave you that she had pierced the hole in and you never knew. You're gonna go broke like that too. I'm just saying. The next thing is, don't try to have the nicest shit, like all the flashy shit, like the nicest car, the nicest clothes, the nicest shoes, like super, super flashy, being over the top. Don't try to do that. I'm telling you, because you're gonna be competing in an endless competition with the fucking world at this fucking point. Because I'll tell you, here at my university, I will see people pulling up in brand new Mercedes-Benz, brand new Teslas, brand new BMWs, Range Rovers, Escalades. I've seen a student actually have a G-Wagon on campus who she drives her own because she'll post about it all the fucking time. Whether that's her dad's or hers, it doesn't fucking matter. But the point is, you're always gonna have somebody else who's gonna try to have nicer shit and who's gonna be trying to outdo you, which is where most people go broke. You're gonna compete in an endless competition because not only are you competing now with your university and the people who go to your university, but you're also going to be competing with people who go to the other universities around you in the area, maybe like an hour or an hour and a half away from you. You're going to be competing with those schools, and then you're going to be competing against the rest of the fucking world because people now can get DMs from all over the fucking world and they can have a fucking Lambo. You can have a Tesla and somebody else can get a DM from somebody on the other side of the fucking world who has a Lambo. And now you're just like, what the fuck? How am I going to compete with somebody who has a Lambo when I got a Tesla? You're going to be competing in an endless competition that you're not going to be able to win. You're going to be competing in a competition that you can't win. Don't try to be so super, super flashy. If you like nice things, I get it. I like nice things too. That's why I wear the jewelry that I wear. That's why I wear the clothes that I wear, the shoes that I wear. That's why I have all of these things. But then again, I'm not trying to compete with other people to have the nicest shit all the fucking time. Trying to have designer, trying to have the nicest laptop, the nicest phones, the nicest iPads, the nicest car, the nicest whatever. Doesn't matter. Don't try to compete because you're not gonna win. You're never gonna finish winning because somebody's gonna try to overdo or outdo you. So it's an endless hole that you're never gonna be able to get to the bottom of. So there's no fucking point. And the last thing on how people go broke is they just go buying food all the fucking time. Look, my school doesn't have the best food. College food, depending on where you go, because you might have better food at the school that you're going to or that you're already at. But you're gonna realize very quickly, college food is at least better than high school food, in my experience. Because in high school, they used to give us shitty ass food. Like, I'm so fucking serious. I never wanted to fucking eat. That's why I would always bring my own food from home and I would eat that for lunch when I was in high school. In college, you kind of have the option of eating your own food or going to the cafeteria or even buying food from, like maybe Chick-fil-A or the coffee shops or whatever places you had at your school. You have those options. So you're not only restricted and you're not only like confined to eating at the cafeteria as your only way of eating. You don't have to do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Nobody's gonna fucking care. You're already paid for it for the semester, so it's on you. But what most people do, and an error and a mistake that most people make whenever they're in college, is that they decide to go out and just buy food all the time, every day of the week. So I'm talking about they're going out to buy food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week, which at first doesn't sound that bad because you might say, well, I don't really like the food that they're giving me at the cafeteria. And it's understandable. I get it. Sometimes I don't like it because there's certain things that I just don't like the way that they cook, or I just flat out don't like what they have. So I just choose not to eat and I choose to eat something else that isn't from the cafeteria, and I get it. But if you're eating out and you're deciding to go out and buy food with your own money every day, 3 times a day, you're gonna stack up a bill from food very quickly that's gonna get pricey very, very fast. So what I would encourage, if you have the money to, of course, try to buy the food that you're gonna wanna eat and that you know that you like from places like Sam's or Costco. Go to those places, buy it in bulk, store it in your dorm. If you have a fridge, if you have like a mini fridge, you might be a little bit more restricted, but try to buy these things from, Sam's Club or Costco, where you can buy it in bulk. It's not gonna cost you a fucking arm and a leg during the semester. And that way, at least you can eat what you like at an affordable price, or modestly affordable price. Every once in a while, you're gonna wanna go out and eat some food, whether it be when you go out with your friends or you go out to the movies or whatever. I do that too. Whenever I go out with my friends, sometimes I like to get Whataburger, sometimes I like to get Cane's. Those are my guilty pleasures. I know, I'm guilty of this too, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but if you wanna have something different to eat, where you get to eat some In-N-Out, some Popeyes, some Whataburgers, some Chick-fil-A, some Cane's, some Panda Express, something like that, every once in a while, cool, go ahead. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or you should never eat while you're in college. No, it's unreasonable, and realistically, you're not gonna be able to do that because you're gonna be even more tempted to go and buy this food. So if you can try to say, you know what, maybe this week I just go out and I buy food once. This week, I'm only gonna go out and buy food or have takeout once a week. So maybe Friday night, maybe Saturday night, maybe Sunday night, you say, you know what? Okay, let's go out. Let me go buy some takeout, buy something that I wanna actually eat. That's my guilty pleasure that I will enjoy one time a week. That's reasonable. You're not gonna go broke. As long as you don't over fucking do it, you won't go broke. It'll maybe run you like $10 to $15, but hey, that's better at least if you can try to control it maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, week and a half, you go out and buy something like that. It's not gonna break the bank as much as you spending your money on alcohol, weed, parties, girls, and trying to flex. You're not gonna break the bank. You're not gonna go broke. If you're able to control yourself, where you have some sort of self-control about these things with yourself, you'll be in a much better place while you're in college and throughout your whole college experience, because these are all the things that most people in college spend their money on, which lead them to go broke and having to take out loans. You can try to refrain yourself from spending all of your money that you may or may not have on all of these things. Your likelihood of going broke and of being broke while in college will significantly go down and decrease. Not saying that this is a 100% proven way that you're never going broke, but if you can try to have some sort of control about this, it'll be fun. You won't struggle as much, and you won't be like most people who's asking for money, who's begging for money, who's doing illegal shit for money because they're being dumbasses for just wasting their money on stupid shit.